Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to do Forever Blooming Flowers, and look at this. This is really an amazing pattern because it is very versatile to your demand. So if you want a smaller flower, maybe if you want it to stop after the second, you can do that and you can keep building and building. And just like you see here, this could actually be building up to a full-size pillow. Now when you look at the inside, you can see that the inside is kind of like buckling like a bowl. You will get that. So if you wanted to do a pillow, you will need to be prepared for that. So the only disadvantage to doing a pillow idea like this, where this is actually not so bad, is that this is a bit of a yarn pig, and you got to think about it. All these layers sticking out like one after another does use up a lot of yarn. The yarn that I'm using in this particular flower that you will have seen on my website, this is called Treasure, and this is called Mosaic. Almost forgot there. But today's tutorial I'm going to be using the Boutique Treasure, and this is also Boutique Treasure as well, Mosaic as I mentioned, and this will be Abstract. Now you can substitute the yarn at any point. You just have to change your hook. So this is a 6.5mm crochet hook or US 10.5 knitting needle. But for what I did today is that I substituted using my tulip using 6.0mm. So what I'm saying to you is that you can just look at the yarn label, get the yarn that matches the hook, and then also follow this pattern. So you don't have to necessarily use this yarn, and you can make it as big or as small as you want to. So now let's get started on making this Forever Blooming Flower. To get started, we're just going to do a slip knot around your finger, back over forward, and then the new back over the forward. We have slower tutorials available on that. Want to slip in our hook, and now we want to chain up 3. This never counts as 1. So 1, 2, and 3. And so now we want to circle around this very center of the flower, going into the very first chain, just like I'm pulling out like this, and we want to half double crochet 6 times. Okay, so we just wrap and go through all 3. So let's review that. So we wrap the material going in, and we're just going into the same spot so that it causes it to rotate around, just like that. Okay, so that's 4, 5, and 6. And now I want to join the very first one to where we are now, and so we're just going to slip in our crochet hook to the very first section there, and I'm just going to grab the yarn, pull through and through, just like that. So now we have a full circle. So now this is what I have to explain to you in order for you to understand this pattern, because you're going to work on the back and the front loops at any point. Now in crochet there's back and front loops, and now if I stick my knitting needle here, this is the front loop here, this is the closest loop to my face, and then the back loop is on the other side. Normally when we're in crochet we're actually working with both of them. Okay, so we're just going into both, but in this particular instance we're doing front or back only. So let's begin, and what we're going to just do now is that we are going to go and do 1 single crochet into the very first front loop. Okay, so we're just going to go in front and then pull through 2 there. So the very next one is kind of like popping right out in your face. Okay, it's right there. And so what we're going to do now is half double crochet 4 times into that same spot. Okay, so just like we did before, wrap, going into the very same, pull through all 3. Okay, and we're going to do that 4 times. So the next one that is available, okay, is going to be a single crochet. Right there. And we're going to single crochet, and so the next one then is going to be 4 half double crochets into the front loop. Now I know it's kind of difficult to see with this really funky transitioning yarn, but you know what, it looks really quite fabulous, and hopefully it'll come across on camera. So 4 half double crochets. Oops, I dropped my stitch. Let's try that. We got 1 in there so far. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. Next stitch available is the front loop only. We're just going to come in, just pop it through the front for a single crochet, and then we're going to do our final one here. Okay, and this will be how we end, and we're going to do 4 half double crochets right into the same one. So essentially you're almost going to be looking like, when you're done this, like almost a triangle, but this is the very start of the center of your flower. So once you're done that, all you need to do is just go into the very next stitch available and just slip stitch it, just like that. Pull through and through. And so there is the very center. So if you look at it here, Okay, this is where we are, and you can kind of see it's kind of not looking the same yet because the next step is not making the flower pop up and towards you. So here's where I left you, and now what I want you to do now is that I want you to turn this around toward the back. Okay, so just flipped just like this, and what I want to do is I want to look for the back loops that we were skipping over. Okay, and so what we're going to just do now is that we're going to look for the back loop only, just like that. There's the first one, and we are going to single crochet twice into that one. So I kind of flipped it toward the front now just to make it a little easier. But now just go into the very next one. So these are the back loops of the same stitch that we were kind of ignoring, and we're going to put 2 singles into each. Okay. So you can kind of see this is what we're doing. So now we're just going around, and so basically this is going to change the stitch count to 12. I originally went around initially in the beginning of going around 6, and now this will, because I'm putting in 2 single crochets into each, I'm expanding the circle into being 12. And we're just going to go all the way around. Like that. Okay, and so now we're ready to join this to where we started. So we're just going to grab it in to where we started, and we're just going to slip stitch it. So now what we've done now is that we've created the next foundation. So the very top loop here on this side is going to be the next flowering, and the next bottom one is going to be the next section where we're going to build out just like we just did. So let's move along to your next section. To begin, we're just going to single crochet into the very front loop of the next round that we had just created. So we're just going into the front only, and we're going to single crochet. This is going to be the same thing that you do throughout this entire flower, so be careful. So watch what you're doing here. The next one is going to get 4 half double crochets. You remember doing that up here? That's exactly what we're going to be doing throughout this flower. So that very next one is going to get 4 half double crochets right into the same stitch. Okay, so the very next one is going to get 1 single crochet, and that's going to be standard across this entire flower. So the next one, 4 half double crochets, and you're going to continue to do that all the way around. So I've now come all the way back around, and the last stitch that you want to do in every round will honestly be the 4 half double crochets before you can do your slip stitch. So let's do that before I slip. So that is just going to be kind of a marker for your brain in order for you to remember that when you're going all the way around. And why is the reason for that? Because the reason is that we started off with 1 single crochet before we did the half double over here, so that balances it. And so now we're just going to slip stitch in to where we started, okay, and then pull through and through, and there is your next round. So you can see the colors are already great. So now let's begin the next round, and we're just going to flip it again just like we did, and you can probably see it there. Let me just get my knitting needle, just show you. This line all the way around are all the stitches that you need. Okay, so in this round here, what we want to do is that we want to put 1 single crochet in the first one, and then the next one is going to get 2 single crochets. Okay, and the next one is going to get 1, and the next one is going to get 2 single crochets. So every time you rotate and make this bigger, for example in the next round, next time you have to do this, you're going to put 2 single crochets in a row and then put 2 into the same one, and you're going to be doing that all the way around, and that's how you significantly grow your flower so that it's consistent and is growing in proportion all the way around. So the next one is going to get a double. So do that when we back up, and we'll start the next round. And that's exactly what you should be looking like at this point. So I'm coming all the way back around, and if you're doing it properly, you should end up with 2 single crochets right at the very end before you slip stitch again. So now we're going to slip it to the very start that we did. Okay, so here's the advice, and this is what's going to drive some people crazy. If you skip a stitch, you know what? It's no big deal. This kind of flower is actually really quite versatile, that if you do something wrong, it's going to be very hard to tell. Now, if you're doing a full-size pillow just like that, yeah, it might be a big deal. But if you're just doing an accessory flower, just for a purse or a brooch, you know, people are not going to notice if you skipped a stitch. So let's begin your next round, and in the next one it's just like before. The first one is going to get, so we're just coming into the first loop only, in the front loop, and we're just going to single crochet, and the next one is going to get 4 half double crochets. Seen that before? Of course you have. We've already done that. So every time we're doing the flower petaling, it is always the same. So if you were to finish off this particular project, what I would recommend that you finish off on the petal rotation. So if you wanted to stop at this point because you think it's big enough, you can, and if you want to keep on going, then you can just keep on going as much as you want, but just always finish off on the petals if you're ever going to fasten off. So again, 1 single crochet, 4 half double crochets, and look how the yarn's changing color. Oh my god, I love it! Yes, I know you think I'm nuts. Truly I am. So 4 half double crochets again. So let's continue to do this all the way around. I'll meet back up and we'll do another layer just for the fun of it, and then call this tutorial quits for today. So I've now finished all the way around, and I'm now going to slip stitch to where I started. Again, I finished off the 4 half double crochets, and this is what it's going to look like so far. So let's just do one more rotation just to make sure we understand. You can now start really seeing where those stitches are. A lot easier. Maybe it's the color, maybe it's just because it's getting bigger. So now we're going to go into the back loop on that same round, just back here, and we are going to single crochet twice in a row. So go 1, and then the next one is a single crochet, and then the next one is going to get a double. Okay, and I kind of explained that already. So every time we go in this, we're just expanding the number of single stitches in between where we're going to put the doubles. Okay, so I'm going to end this tutorial on this particular round here, but if you wanted to continue to make this flower bigger, so the next one you want to do 3 single crochets and then a double, and then if you wanted to continue it even bigger, then you want to do 4 single crochets and then a double. So hopefully you can see the pattern in that. So let's continue that. Here we are again, and I've just finished all the way around. You can see that it's like a layered effect that's behind there, and now I want to start, and we're just going to go into the very first one here. So we're just going to see how we're just kind of overlapping and coming into the very first one for a single crochet in the front loop only, and then the next one is 4 half double crochets. Again, this is not news to you by now because you've been with me already for a few minutes, and we're going to do 4 half double crochets in a row, in the same one I should say, and then the next one is 1 single crochet. And you're going to continue that all the way around, and you can already see the colors of this are just spectacular, and I'm hoping that the camera is going to pick that up, just like so. So 4 half double crochets, 1 in a row or in the same, and then 1 single crochet, and continue that all the way around. And I'm going to call this tutorial quits once I get all the way around. So let's meet back up. I'm going to fasten off, and I'll tell you a little tip in case you want to actually fasten this to anything that you want to make. So I've now come all the way back around, and I just want to slip stitch to where I started, just like so, and I'm calling this tutorial quits for today. So here's my tip. So if you wanted to finish this off and you wanted to sew this, why waste all this gorgeous string and being able to, waste it? So what I would do is cut it really long, just like so, and just let's fasten off this area. So let's pull it all the way through, just like that. Okay, pull it nice and tight, just like that, and just do one more in just to make sure. And the reason why I'm doing it so long, you don't have to do this, but what I'm doing here is that if I was to sew this onto anything, you want the yarn color to be the same. So you don't want to be using a black or a white or anything when you're going to fasten this maybe to a purse or to luggage or to a brooch or whatever. So why not use the same string here? So what I would do then is just kind of grab your crochet hook, come in behind on one of the back stitches that would be your next rotation if you wanted to, pull it through, and then put this yarn now on a needle or a darning needle, and then use this yarn to now sew it. And what I would do is that you want to grab onto the back loops as you're sewing all the way around as you put it onto a particular project that you want to work on. So that's what I would recommend if you wanted to sew this on. If you just didn't want to do anything with it, you can obviously just weave in these ends and just have it like so, and then you can also do this as well. Makes for a great, very Christmassy, very fun, and I love this yarn because again, it just comes out to be absolutely amazing.